What up, homies? Welcome to episode 54 of our Disco Elysium playthrough. It's main quest time again. How did the mercenary actually die, and who the hell did it? We begin today by talking to Claudia again, and she finally opens up to us about the night that Lily died. It's a pretty gruesome scene, as is pretty much everything here in Martinez, but this knowledge also opens up a range of possibilities that we will investigate from now on. Additionally, we also learn about who Claudia actually is and why she is here, which is also very interesting. Thanks for coming by, homies, and enjoy! And she's still out here in the rain.
It's always good to see you.
She cracks a weary smile, leaning back against the railing.
Something in her demeanor has changed. She's tired, consigned to her fate, to being here with you and what's to come.
Volition. Look her in the eye. Slight confusion about bullet. Okay. The Hardy Boys told us what really happened. I need to talk to you about your room again. So let's talk about the Hardy Boys.
I understand.
She puts a coffee mug on the table. You don't look surprised. You were expecting this. You sent us on a runaround. You lied to us, miss. Chill. I'm the cool cop, remember? You don't look surprised.
I knew there was a chance you'd get them to tell you. It's what you do. You're the police. For what it's worth, I'm sorry for wasting your time.
This is good. Clear the air first, between you two, then move on to questions. Is it? Something is off here. Shush, I can't hear what she's saying.
Oh, damn. Losing ourselves.
If you knew we would find out eventually, why did you waste our time?
Because of the Hardys. I couldn't just dispense with them. They were only trying to help me. Out of the shit I'd gotten into.
That's not a good enough reason. Cool, I'm satisfied with this explanation. Kinda, yeah, I don't really, this is just a side plot here. I don't really want to bother her too much with this shit. Although I'm interested in that, but I'm gonna go with cool. I'm satisfied.
I am not. There is more here, miss.
You're right. There's more.
More?
You answer to the coalition government, and by extension, the moral intern.
Briefly glancing over her shoulder to the sea, as she's done time and time again.
Is that why you're looking over your shoulder? You're afraid of the moral intern? What's the RCM's involvement with the moral intern got to do with this? The RCM isn't the lapdog of the moral intern. You don't have to worry. I mean, that's kind of naive. They are. I'm not, but, is that why you're looking over your shoulder?
You share a database with them. You send people to their courts.
What's going on? What did you do?
Just business. But bad business for some people in the moral intern. If I show up in your records, officer, they will find me. They will...
What happens if they do?
They will kill me, sir. If you file my name, take me in for questioning, enter me into the moral intern mill, well, then I'm fucked. For nothing. This murder didn't have anything to do with me.
Fucked? People after her? Moral intern people? This isn't Oronese lit.
You said you studied Oronese lit. What is this? What is with this fugitive stuff? What did you do to have these people after you? What happened here the night he died? Why did you call the cops if you were hiding? When was the window changed? Point to it. Weird change of pace. What's with the fugitive stuff?
I did. I also had a side job selling insurance that I was really good at. Got picked up by a bank. Competitive intelligence, they called it.
Okay, so she's a business spy.
After that, I sort of, transitioned out of the whole culture scene.
All right, I was hesitant about that. What did you do to have these people after you? Because this feels a little bit like victim blaming. But, this opens up now some stuff that she probably did some shady stuff. Or, shady in terms of if it's some spying. So what we're asking here, what did you spy and what did you find out that people are now hunting you?
It's not nice, but it's not illegal. Not here in Revachol, or even in Oranje.
What exactly did you do?
Industrial espionage. I joined a business collective with the intention of betraying them. I did my job well enough to be asked to do it again. With a bigger company. The kind you really, really don't fuck with. I took their ledgers, 2 decades worth of accounting.
Cool. Good shit.
I need the names of the companies involved and who hired you.
He taps on his note.
The job was Loosdoen County Savings Bank. They sound small, but they're part of the Looscop conglomerate. That was the second job. The first was some printer company. You wouldn't know them.
But she really destroyed them. She still feels it.
As to who hired me for the job, I don't know. But they're after me too. Along with Looscop and their friends in the MI. Once you're done in the competitive intelligence circuit, you don't have allies. You're radioactive.
Lowe's cap. These people engineer financial disasters in second world countries. The conglomerate also includes the Bank of Consecration, Airberg, and the popular Papalolo line of dairy products.
Papalolo. I'm sure there are people who have done much worse than that. Serves them right. When I am king, the savings bank will be the first against the wall. You're right, this is bad. You've destroyed what people have built. That's a lot of shit you've gotten yourself into. Papalolo.
Yeah. Papa fucking Lolo wants to kill me.
She smiles. I'm sure there are people who have done much worse than that.
Sure. I'm not a war criminal, but it was bad. People lost their jobs. Good people too, not just C-suite.
I guess, yeah, sure, of course, but
A lot of people got hurt. But that's just more of my shit you shouldn't have to deal with. You're solving a murder.
oh well. We're on our communist arc, so fighting these kind of people is
That
in
can
line.
wait. Look into her eyes. There's more.
Cool. What did you do? Let's not pry. It's not part of this case. No, we're gonna pry. What did you do?
One of them killed themselves because of me.
Oh, damn.
She says it quickly, like she said it 100 times to herself to get used to the idea. Out of guilt.
That's bad. How do you live yourself? That's shake your head. Not easy to deal with. Not. Let's get back to what happened here, okay? I'm gonna go with it's not easy to deal with. I mean, we gotta remember where she is coming from, and she did not, decide you gotta kill yourself here, and she did not decide, okay, I gotta do this. She was sent there on a mission, let's say, because that is what her job was, and in this world, people are not really free to pick what they're gonna do. So, there's some, obviously she has blame on her hands. It's not like, okay, well, she couldn't have done anything else. But it's not like she's living in a society that has many options, apparently. So I'm going to go with that's not easy to deal with.
How do you deal with anything? It's all just... How do you do it?
I don't. I'm a cop. What I do is right. Oh my God. By not remembering a single goddamn thing. I don't either. I don't either.
There you have it. The way of the warrior.
She's already almost devoured the cigarette she just lit and looks at it sadly. Okay. Cool. What happened here the night he died?
We were there. Together. In bed, I mean.
Tell me exactly what happened.
Okay. He was in a kneeling position. He had just entered me. I was on my back, looking at him. I heard the window behind me shatter, and I turned to look. There was a hole in the glass. I turned back to him. His eyes were looking through me, and his mouth was open, dumb. I could see. I could.
Her chest rises and falls with each word. She keeps herself together and says it.
I knew he was dead before he fell down on top of me.
You were right. He did enjoy the moment of his death.
Damn. Weird. Trivial success. That is a Damn, that's a weird ass bookend. Okay, that's fucked up. But how can that? It didn't sound like there were people on this balcony that shot him. And that, I feel, is the only way that the Hardy Boys could have shot him. Because they don't have these advanced, crazy-ass weapons. I think their weapons are kind of close range. So it sounds like a sniper, which, again, sounds more like these mercenaries. Alright, so my feeling was right earlier. He was enjoying the moment of his death. I'm not gonna say that. Better not to mention it. Then what happened?
He was heavy. I pushed him off and he fell to the floor. There. He only had his boots on. I bit the pillow, not to scream, then ran downstairs.
There's a long pause. She just stands there, her arms at her sides. He just wore his boots. This is how we found him. But people said they scavenged the shit from the hanging body and then, you know, spent it, whatever. Maybe they didn't. Maybe they just took it from this room.
I waited for the second shot to come. For me. I thought there would be one. It never came.
She's forgotten about her cigarette. The butt has burned right down to her fingernails.
Your secret, miss? I'm sorry this happened to you. Are you sure you're not making this up? Shake your head. That's a motherfucker. Just not. We're going to need more details. That's a motherfucker.
Yeah, it was a real motherfucker. Ow.
She looks down. Her cigarette has singed fingers.
She
Shit.
throws it away and immediately proceeds to light another one.
What time was this? When did it happen? It would help us if you could be as precise as possible.
11:30 to 12:15. I don't know the exact time. Around midnight.
It's okay. Were you inebriated?
Not as much as usual. He'd done a line, plus other things. I was drinking.
Wait. Titus said she was gurning her jaw off, much more than usual.
Titus said you look pretty high. It doesn't matter. Better not to mention it. No, I'm going to mention that.
Oh, yeah. I did one of his lines, just to clear my head.
Did you hear or see the shooter in the course of this?
No,
What did you do then?
nothing. I was trapped. I was stuck in my room downstairs. I got some clothes on and crawled back up, drew the blinds. Blood was coming from his mouth. Not a lot, just a little. He was still on the floor, slouched. I couldn't be there with him anymore, so I ran down and out of my room, into the hallway, down the stairs. I knew there would be people there.
Run, woman. Run past them and out into the streets where it's dark and people move. To the lorries at the intersection, as far as you can.
Why didn't you run away from here? As a matter of fact, why are you here now? Say nothing. Say nothing.
She pulls on the cigarette, looking up at the sky. Her hair ripples in the breeze as she stands there, silent.
Okay. What happened after you ran downstairs? When it happened, did you hear a gunshot? Did you kill Ellie? What? Weird. What happened after you ran downstairs?
Sylvie was tending the bar. A lot of people were there. The Hardys were at the table in front of the stage. I think the Union box was full. Ruby was there too. They were having such a good time. I sat down and they all welcomed me. I didn't even have to say anything. Ruby knew something was wrong.
Yeah, who's Ruby? Is Ruby the other Hardy boy, the Hardy girl that fled and we never knew about?
Ruby?
Before we continue, who is Ruby?
Ruby. You know, the leader.
Oh, hi.
The leader? Of what?
The Hardy Boys.
She says it as if it's self-evident. I thought Hardy was the leader of the Hardy Boys.
Well, nominally, yes. Ruby's the one they go to when things happen, like things they need taken care of. She's the organizer.
This Ruby, in her phrasing, is entrusted with great power. She trusts her. So do the others.
Would you say she is the 8th Hardy Boy?
You gotta confirm that.
Why not?
Does she also party with Ruby, however?
Did you party with Ruby too? Better not to. Sure.
No.
She smiles nervously. The beads of her teeth shine.
Still, there is something there. She won't tell you now.
Okay, maybe later. Okay, let's go on. What then?
Well, Ruby said let's talk upstairs. I showed her the room. I've known these people since December. They know my situation, that I can't leave a paper trail. Ruby was the first one I told. She said she'd take care of this. It's what she does, you know, take care of things. I helped her get the body to the bathroom. We used a belt to pull him up under the shower, to keep him upright.
To produce lividity, matching a hanging?
Yes.
We completely missed the tampering. Looks like you got there in time. What was this, 20 minutes after death?
Oops.
About 20, yes. Ruby explained it would make the blood... You know what he does.
She looks at the ground, then raises her light brown eyes to meet yours. Then what did you do? That's enough. I had another question. Then what did you do?
Ruby went outside to talk to Titus and the boys. I was just looking at Lely in the bathroom. I had to put his clothes back on.
Okay.
His armor, too. It was tough, but I've seen him take it off and put it on many times. It took Ruby maybe half an hour to come back with Titus. I'd gotten him ready by then. They carried him out. I knew what they were going to do. Make it look like a hanging. Ruby said they would.
What did you do while they were hanging him?
Ruby said to wait here. She also said I wouldn't see her for a while. That we should lay low or something. So I did.
This Ruby. Where is this Ruby now?
I don't know. I haven't seen her since.
New task. Make Titus give up Ruby. Wow. That's a heavy task. Is that possible?
We will need to take this question to the Hardy Boys.
When it happened, did you hear a gunshot?
When he was shot? I may have. I don't know. I couldn't hear anything over the glass exploding.
So it can't have been close range, because she would have heard if it was close range. So the person can't have been on this roof or on this balcony. So it has to have been a sniper shot. And it doesn't sound like the Titus people or the Hardy Boys were involved. I don't know what to think about this question. Did you kill him? Could the people after you have killed him? What did you call the cops? Why did you call the cops if you're hiding? When was the window changed? We're done here. So I guess, let's see. Maybe we ask this. It seems kind of weird. Could the people after you have killed him?
That's the first thing that went through my head when I heard the glass break.
And?
I thought they'd found me. They've killed him to punish me. All last week, I've tried not to talk to anyone or be seen with anyone.
She looks at her cigarette.
So they wouldn't be hurt. I've come to understand, however, this is paranoia. What happened didn't have anything to do with me.
But maybe it did. It probably didn't. Either way, something to consider. It probably didn't.
Or I don't know anything anymore. All I do is wait here.
She looks at the table. Table? Oh, this one. Yeah, all right.
We can't go after Loose Cap. Not yet. There are other, saner leads.
I don't ask you to, Lieutenant. If there's one thing I know, it's that you'll get nothing from there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, true. What did you call the cops if you're hiding?
Because I'm an idiot.
Which is an indicator of truth.
I don't think so. Why did you do it? I'm not going to disagree with you. I don't think so. Why did you do it?
You have to understand, the people around here, no one was making the call, and he kept rotting. And then they picked his clothes off, and that little fucker threw stones at him. He kept throwing stones at him for 3 days. I could hear the thud, thud. So I called you. I hope with all my heart it's not the last thing I do in Ravishol.
She definitely called the cops. That was task complete. It could not have been a lie. That is impossible.
All right. Did you kill Ellie? This seems so weird. I'm gonna ask it now because it's an option. It seems super weird. Do I? I mean, obviously, we kind of have to make sure, you know, we don't know anything about the killer, and all we have is what she told us. You know, it could be, if we go through all the theories, it could be that she killed him, which she obviously didn't. She wouldn't be this emotional about that, so it seems kind of rude to ask that. Goddamn. No, I'm not going to do it. All right, when was the window changed?
Last week. Angus and Titus's brother, I think he's called Tibbs, took care of it.
You should have another look at that window after this. Reconstruct the scene. It's right there.
In her bedroom inside? Not now. In her bedroom inside?
Yes. You see the glass sparkling out of the corner of your eye.
All right. I think we're done here for now.
She nods, silently. She doesn't even smoke. Just picks up the cold coffee and holds it in her hands.
The lieutenant glances at you, then at the door.
He's thinking, are we done here?
Not really.
Or maybe you should take her to the station for safekeeping. She lied to you, and she's a flight risk.
Yeah, we're not going to take her to the station because then she's going to be inside of the system and then they're going to get her.
No, that won't be necessary. Just leave her alone. She's been through enough. She doesn't need this police brutality. Multiface, I'm beginning to doubt your judgment. Are you sure you're not sleeping on the post? You have to wake this one up with force if you want to continue pushing her.
Multiface? What? Multiface, I'm beginning to doubt your judgment. Is that drama? And we need it's a drama challenge. In God's name, wake up. I assume this means we're talking to me. We're not waking her up. I need to talk to you about your room again and volition. Look in her eyes. We're going to do this drama challenge. I think it's for me.
But we are awake, sire.
How the fuck did that
she
fail?
Has been forthcoming with sordid details women usually conceal. Most shocking details of the sexual kind. We are a bulwark, unbreached. Get a hold of yourself just once, will you? Try to look past the sexually lax morals and do some police work. So you say, but give us one example of deceit. Just one example.
As to precision, could the lurid explicitness conceal something less sensational but more illegal? I got nothing, you're right, wise counsel. It is silly of me to imply she's lied. I mean, we're gonna do that check again by leveling up. It was a white check, so we can put another point in drama and try again. Wasn't it a 92%? I'm gonna go with the second one here.
Gosh, she's so young, isn't she? She would look spectacular in a starring role.
Weird.
Be careful not to look too long into her soon-to-be famous face, lest it make you look like an indecisive suitor. It looks like this one's not waking up. You'll have to do it without pushing her further. At least for now.
Oh.
As you look back, you think, so love did do him in, after all.
Mm-hmm. I was right.
If it weren't for her, he would not have been there. The shot would not have connected with his soft palate.
Turn to Claudia. Looks like love did him in after all. Weird. I'm gonna go with it.
She's silent, holding on to her coffee mug. No vapor rises from it. It's cold. Remember this silence. The lady is dangerous. People suffer around her.
Say nothing, let her answer.
Yeah. I'd like to think he didn't love me. Or that it was chemically induced and not real.
Why? I mean, obviously why? Because he got hurt because of her. And it would suck if he did that out of love.
Easier that way.
Mm-hmm. Was it real?
I don't know.
She looks down at the yard, then back into her coffee.
Real as anything.
Alright. Finished thought. Alright, do that again. Drama, level up. Alright.
Officer.
97%.
What brings you up here in the rain?
Here we go.
What? Dear God, you've been lied to.
For real?
She could have killed her lover and lied to everyone. She's not candid at all. She's smoke and mirrors and will-o-wisps.
I wonder if that is because we level drama up so high. Because in this info shit, you at some point you get at high level suggestions makes you affable to everyone and more resistant to their charms in turn. But all that schmoozing and oozing and charm will make you slimy, and you'll know it even if no one else does. With low levels of suggestion, though, or suggestions of drama. At high levels of drama, where you render you an insufferable thespian, one prone to hysterics and bouts of paranoia. For to know the world as a stage is to know that truth is a vanity. However, with low drama, you cannot lie. It feels like we're getting paranoid that she's lying to us. I don't think she is. Okay.
She probably didn't give you her real name either. Why would she? Arrest her immediately before she further entangles you in her web of lies.
Turned to the lieutenant. Cam, why have you not arrested her yet? You know, I think you didn't make the call to the station. Your real name isn't Claudia Amandu. What if I told you were under arrest? Miss, let's change the subject for the time being. Yeah, I'm not going to do that.
She
Okay.
slowly lights another cigarette and steadies her breath, as if in the presence of some tiger.
Let's get back to those lies you told. I need to talk to you about your room again.
Yeah,
You have quite the collection of prescription drugs down there.
thank you.
Thank
Put a
you.
lot of time and effort into it.
She says without any discernible irony.
Technically, possession of narcotics is legal in Revachon, but you should still reprimand her.
Should I?
No, don't listen to the stiff. Be cool.
Narcomania is nothing to be proud of, miss. It was quite impressive. How did you amass such a hoard? No further questions. How did you amass it?
With money, sir. It's not exactly the NT-star size caboodle I intend for it to be one day, but it's getting there.
All right.
The Anti-Star is, or was, a Vespertine rock and roll star who liked to do drugs. He did so many drugs, he eventually mutated into a corpse.
Nice mutation. The collection includes Nacra, an opioid antagonist. You seem to have, among other things, Preptide. That's all as far as that goes then. I don't know. Opioid antagonist.
Comes in handy when you've done too many opioids.
Is that something that happens to you often, miss?
His tone isn't aggressive, just inquisitive.
Better safe than sorry.
You seem to have, among other things, Preptide.
Oh, yes. One of my favorites. It cures many ailments.
Like what?
Like not being able to stay up for 36 hours. Not being happy. It cures those ailments. It's just a merit speed molecule, basically.
That's all as far as that goes then.
Very funky.
All right. All right.
All right.
That's what I was saying. Let's get back to those lies you told. I mean, she did. But it feels that this happened now because of the drama check. So I'm not sure. But I'm gonna check it out.
Lies.
She repeats and trails off. It's unclear what she is intended to say.
Yes, we demand she
Here
be
we go.
punished for deceiving us.
All right, let's change the subject.
She slowly lights an...
All right, can I analyze this door now?
This window is pristine on the inside, unlike the one next to it. Light from the desk lamp reflects off the glass in an untarnished golden halo.
All right, it's visual calculus again, which we can do with the same thing we did before. Put this on and these glasses. Let's see.
This window is pristine
83,
on
here we
the
go.
inside. Unlike the golden light melts away into the blue, glassy darkness of your mind. In it are two neon-lit shapes, a man and a woman on the single bed.
This looks pretty cool. Are we triangulating here? This is the entry point. Triangulating the guy that got shot, apparently. That's her. Can't really see that guy. Is that him? Is that the mouth? B1, B2, B3, A. I don't really know. Feel like we're triangulating. Whatever. Continue.
Two-hearted spider.
What? What position are they in?
Like the witness said, the man is kneeling, the woman is on her back, It's the night of March 4th and a shot has just been fired. The man looks directly at the woman. The shot's possible directions converge in his mouth, a ray cast from somewhere outside, entering his brain.
Where does it come from?
From the roof outside, location A prime. The glass fractures around the bullet hole. Shards face inwards like a corona behind the woman's back.
It feels like it could have come from that business building, because it's got a lot of floor, so that would be high enough for someone to shoot out of one window there. We did not get any hints about that happening from the people that we talked to in there, but that feels like a prime spot to do that. Inspect the ghostly figures. Have a look at point A1, the roof. Inspect the ghostly figures.
The man does not know the bullet has entered his brain. He never will. Death comes faster than the realization.
Have a look at point A1.
The ray cast from the man's mouth unravels into a fan of possible directions, all on the roof at first. The shot could have come from any of them. This is composite location A prime, most likely of the origin points.
Shouldn't there be gun residue outside? So I'm 80% sure the roof is where the shot was made from? Shouldn't there be gun residue?
There could have been. Then the rain and slush and wind washed it away. This was more than a week ago.
I'm 80% sure?
72%, with a weapon that fires jacketed ammunition, likely a rifle. This is a good short distance, but not too short. The perpetrator aimed with their back against the railing, or possibly kneeling for precision. This would explain why it only took them one shot.
But how did that guy get onto the roof? I mean, we still know about this door here that we can't get into, but why would he not have seen him?
The lights were on in here. Outside it was dark. It was like shooting fish in an aquarium, a well-lit aquarium. The victim opened his mouth to let the bullet in. Neither of them would have seen anything outside in the darkness, too busy with their own bodies.
Could the shot have come from inside the room and close to point? Are there any arguments against A prime, the roof? Could there have been another point of origin further away? Could the shot have come from inside? Probably not, because the bullet didn't go through him. It got lodged into his skull, I guess.
Point X would contradict the woman's testimony, rendering the entire proposition void. These figures would be wiped out, Detective.
Are there any arguments against A prime?
None that you've found thus far, but that doesn't mean there aren't any.
Oh, okay. So I guess we could do more here. We just gotta find more stuff. Maybe check out that business place again. Could there have been another point of origin further away?
That's a 28%, yes. In this model, the shot could have come from a greater distance. Nothing excludes the possibility. Should we extrapolate to include every possible point of origin in Martinez?
Yeah, extrapolate that shit.
According to your map of the district, this shot could have come from a wide angle of locations, starting with the northern edge of the abandoned boardwalk, ending with an islet in the bay. Let's call them B prime.
Okay, that's super far away. More precisely?
B prime for boardwalk, B double prime for Land's End, and B triple prime for the islet, Detective.
Okay.
There may be smaller points in between, but those are too fine to zoom in on.
Have a look at point B prime, B1, I don't know, the boardwalk.
700 meters away. The likeliest of these B positions, 20% chance. A skilled sniper could have made the shot, provided he had a safe sniper's nest. Even with the light on inside, we're talking military training. At that distance, the perpetrator would have had to take wind direction into account.
Land's End?
1.2 kilometers away, the least likely of these positions. Let's say 3%. A truly skilled sniper could have done it, possibly from a tent. No, too far-fetched.
And B3?
1 kilometer away, a point beyond the docks, on an islet in the bay. The fort is ruined, but the perpetrator may have found a stable spot on the beaches surrounding it, where the concrete crumbles into the sea, as you saw in the coin-operated viewer. The shot would have been a small miracle, 5% likelihood. There is an extremely narrow field of view from the bay to the window between Rue de Saint-Ghislain 10 and 33A. The angle would have been extreme and access to the islets is questionable.
Kim, do you think the shot could have come from further than the roof and Martinez?
From where, precisely?
Let's say B prime, the boardwalk, B double prime, Land's End, B triple prime, the islet.
I see you have given this a lot of thought. Are those the locations you've singled out in addition to the roof? And what is the likelihood, in your opinion, that it came from a further distance?
It's okay, much less than from the roof, but still, I'm just being thorough, much less than the roof, but still.
Okay, well, we should see if there is gunshot residue or sniper nests if we go down the coast. Rule these spots out one by one.
Cool.
It would be the diligent thing to do. Until then, personally, I'm going with the roof version. A simple hypothesis can be wrong, but it's something to build on.
Blink leave. Blunk it out. Alright, cool. New task. Right? First this year, McTitus give up Ruby's location. Ruby was the organizer of the hanging. She's also missing, but the Hardy Boys will be tight-lipped about her location. You need to get them to open up. Have you fully explored the whirling? Oh, fuck. It's the secret passage. Analyze the site of the murder, truly and thoroughly interrogated Klasia. All this might make convincing them easier. Okay, we got it. So we should do this sniper shit before. And determine where the shot came from. Where could the shot that killed the hanged man have come from, if not from the roof? This will take some checking out of locations. Also, this probably will very heavily influence, or will be heavily influenced by this bullet. Because if we analyze this bullet and find out this is not a I don't know, small caliber bullet, or it's something that has to be fired by a sniper, that's going to be a high impact on where this shot came from. Okay, so we still have time to kill. And going over there to the boardwalk and stuff is actually kind of good, because I think we have to go into our sleeping arrangement to drop Kim off and be able to walk alone around here and go to the meeting and to Klasie at night. So, boardwalk, I guess we go here. I assume we gotta go here. Huh. What are the options? Check the boardwalk for bullet traces. Check island for bullet traces. Check Land's End for bullet traces. Land's End is where we met. We had that little date. I don't know if this is the boardwalk here. Guess we just run around this place. I don't know what counts as boardwalk here. Because this could also still count as that. And there's a big building here. Oh, hi.
And Mikhail noticed the windows, especially with how there are no windows on the south side. This was to deal with.
A blond man stands next to his son, pointing to the weather-worn ruins. He sees you approaching and smiles.
You officers, come to investigate the historic subtext of West Martinez? I'm Tran Heilostam. You must be Kim Kitaragi, right? I was just telling my son about this building. Not a lot of people realize the historic significance here. Very rich in hypertext.
How does he know Kim?
Nice to meet you.
Hold on, hypertext? Wait, what was that? Was that about a window before? You and Kim know each other? Hypertext?
Yes, hypertext. Young Carp and the collection of cultural hyperlinks.
Okay. Sure. What was that about the windows before?
Oh yes, so Mikhail. They had to deal with monitor glare, especially in the summer. They still had vector monitors back then. That was 49 years ago. So they didn't have windows on the south wall.
You and Kim know each other?
No, I can't say that we've met before, but I've heard of Kim, of course. Mikhail, say hi to the officers.
He rests his hand on the boy's shoulder. The child stays hidden behind the hem of his father's coat, clutching to his worm-themed coloring book.
Mikhail's a little tired today. We spent all night trying to run Orbis on his radio computer. Have you heard of it? It's a programming language used in Grad. Quite tricky, but he wanted to play this Grad-made adventure program. We've been getting really into verbs lately.
Alright.
The man speaks in the artificial cadence of a professor, or someone who's been on too many radio shows.
By the way, can you see this ladder here? This seems like a sniper location.
But I assume you're not here for giant worms when there are so many real things to see. Just as I was telling Mikhail before, this is where the Coalition landed in '08. We could be standing on what is the most interesting landmark in Revachol West.
He points to the building again.
This man is your half-brother. You feel it. But why?
What?
Well, get a load of this guy. He really enjoys his trivia. The Orbis programming language was named after its inventor, Victor Orbis, a cybernetician from Grad. They run Vox in the Occidental countries.
What's so fascinating about an empty old building? You look like someone who has money. Do you have any money? I mean, we do need money. What's so fascinating about an empty old building?
Aha! But it's not just any empty old building.
He raises his hand to his eyes, springtime sun warming his handsome face. All four of you turn to admire the mural before you.
What not a lot of people know is this used to be the R&D department of Felt Electrical. And Felt, which now sells ink cartridges mostly, was once a top dog in the turn-of-the-century cybernetics boom.
Okay.
Hold on. What's R&D?
I don't have the other option anymore. Shit. Alright. Look at the building looming over you. Wait, what's an R&D department?
Apologies, it's an acronym for research and development. They don't use it anymore.
He smiles brightly, laugh lines around his eyes.
You're probably more familiar with RTD, Research and Technological Development.
Mea culpa. You are not familiar with that one either. This man is a bookhead.
Damn. Look at the building looming over
It
you.
looks old and weathered, with seagulls picking apart its stone and metal carcass. Bushy undergrowth has taken hold of the collapsed rooftop. Some kind of bird has set up a nest on a broken windowsill.
I don't think I've ever heard of this Felt Electrical.
That's not surprising. Only a vestigial ink cartridge and ferrotape manufacturer remains.
He adjusts his suit jacket.
They started out as a midway electronics outfit in Königstein 2 centuries ago. After an aggressive move to Revachol, Feld became a global player in the emerging personal electronics market of the pre-revolutionary era. Still, Tricentennial was beating them in business machines. But Feld had an ace up their sleeve, or should I say they were developing an ace up their sleeve? I'm mixing my metaphors here.
What was that ace?
It was here in Martinez, possibly in this very building, that they developed prototypes for a tape computer.
A tape computer? Psychomantis? Nanomachine?
An elegant folding mechanism of rollers and ferrotape ribbons, portable enough to be a take-it-home solution. Revolutionizing business machines, possibly even bring them to the average consumer. Which is a feat of engineering even today's giants, Rehm, ICN and ZAM, haven't achieved yet.
He grins, admiring the sentence he just produced. It said pre-revolution, right? It's not that the revolutionary guys actually worked on that. Because I think, I was thinking maybe this can be compared to some kind of, Soviet technology and how they, invented a whole bunch of shit. But I think it said that this revolution here never really took hold and was suppressed pretty fast. I think like 4 years or 5 years. So there wouldn't have been time for that. What happened?
Indeed. What?
The revolution!
No, it's a completely different way around. The revolution stopped. Technological advancement.
Unfortunately, their moonshot project never made it to the market. Feld's move to Revachol backfired. The revolutionary government liquefied their assets and expropriated those very advanced prototypes. Possibly from this very building, or one of the adjacent ruins.
He pauses, pointing to the other building, then continues.
All of this was built by Feld, even the boardwalk. Wild Pines built Martinez proper as a resort for their middle management. Feld built this side of town for R&D.
Okay. You're saying that Felt Electrical built this boardwalk? Look under your feet. What happened to the engineers, the company people? What did the revolutionaries do with those advanced tape computers? How did those tape computers work? Did they work like radio computers? I wanted to ask something else. I assume we can ask all of these. You're saying that Felt Electrical built this?
Yes, they even built a pleasure wheel, but that got destroyed in the war.
Pleasure wheel.
A pleasure wheel?
I guess that's that Ferris wheel that we've seen on the map. Pleasure wheel. Weird name. The lieutenant looks wistfully at the horizon as if picturing gondolas rising to the sky.
Perhaps reminded of a childhood memory. It's clear he would prefer there were a big wheel lighting up the coast.
Yes, to lure in their star engineers. This part of Martinez was nothing but reeds before Feld arrived. They had to make the prospect of living here attractive. It was supposed to become a global center for innovation in cybernetics. But history had other plans.
I'm not a fan of this line of the development here, because this, we had so much stuff we were going to do, so many cool things and all this technological advancement and improve the human race, and then the revolutionaries came and destroyed it all. I'm not a fan of that. What happened to the engineers and the company people?
Oh, I'm afraid it didn't end well for the boys.
The
But
boys.
this story is a bit too dark for little Mikhail here. Now, if you were to ask about tape computers...
He means that the boys got shot by the communists. The boys were bourgeois.
Turn to Mikhail. He means they all got shot in the head because they were bourgeois. Now, do you know what the bourgeois is? Yeah.
Officer, I told you this chapter of history wasn't on Mikhail's curriculum yet. Let's keep this kid friendly.
The boy looks first at you, then back at his father, confused.
Nice. What did the revolutionaries do with those advanced tape computers?
They used them for military communications, but also to write and send out press releases. The most notorious example being Le Décret de Mars.
What was that?
What's the Mars Decree? I mean the radio transmission sent out to news agencies and world governments by the newly created Commune of Revachol on the 7th of March in the year 02.
A short-lived legislative foundation for a short-lived utopia.
It's a beautiful piece of text, actually. A singer-songwriter I know, Charette, called it a love poem to Revachol on her political concept album, Bon Baiser dans ce Lind. You should read it. Every local library in Revachol stocks a copy of the decree.
Okay, that's cool. I really want to read that.
I tried to get Mikhail to memorize it. Tried to. Someone was much too interested in worms to be paying any attention.
The kid takes a peek at the green and silver worm on the cover of the book, already forgetting about this part of the discussion.
How did those tape computers work?
Actually, no one knows. No one even knows what a computer made entirely of tape would look like. But word has it, they were very elegant, exquisite, alien-looking turn-of-the-century hardware.
He raises his finger, remembering something.
Buckle up.
10 years ago, I did a little freelancing, I guess you could say. I was a special consultant for an exhibition at the Wompty Dumpty Dum Center in Vredefort, Oranje. It raised the same questions, and we had lengthy discussions with Paul Ockerman, who was head curator at the time. This was before the twins Keith and Guy Juice joined the team, trying to...
Wait, did he just say Wumpty Dumpty Dum Center?
Yeah, I stumbled upon that as well.
He did it. He said Wumpty Dumpty Dum Center, like it's the most natural thing in the world. What the hell is a Wumpty Dumpty Dum Center? And who the hell are Keith and Guy Juiced?
Okay, the Wompty Dumpty Dom Center, Paul Ockerman, Keith and Guy Juiced. What are you talking about? Okay, back to where were we? Tape computers, I think. First one.
The Wompty Dumpty Dum Center for Contemporary Arts. The exhibition itself drew on Lagerman's notion of memory, and so there were some parallels. That's why the head curator, Paul Ockerman, chose to...
You're making this up. Turn to the lieutenant. Kim, is he making this up? Come on, there's no place called the Wompty Dumpty Dom Center of Arts. First one.
In fact, I'm not. The Wompty Dumpty Dum Center is a place you can visit if you're ever in Vredefort and are ever in the market for an exhibition space / contemporary art research center.
Okay. You can miss his throat.
But perhaps I should return to the tape computers. As I was saying, the device itself was very elegant, fragile even. One could write directly on the tape using a special chemical solution. The machine would then analyze the handwriting, perform operations, and project output onto a white screen. It was a beautiful, delicate thing.
Made of black film and folding tape structures.
Not cool. I've seen cooler things than that. The RCM should get one of those. Cool.
Very, very cool. Though I understand the socio-economic causes of the revolution, it pains me to imagine the revolutionaries setting fire to this precious device. But so they did. The felt playback experiment vanished into the fires of '07.
Wait, the felt playback experiment?
Yes, the official name of the prototype. Some sources report it as the felt playback experience, but those are incorrect.
Why did they destroy it?
Who knows? Maybe it was an accident, or maybe they didn't want the technology to end up in the wrong hands. Either way, they're all gone now. All 3 versions of the prototype. Nothing but debris and ashes remain inside that building.
He takes a step back, the boardwalk creaks mournfully in the wind. I can't remember. There was a one funny option or interesting option to ask him about, but I can't remember what it was. We were able to ask him about money, but I think that's outside of this range of questions here.
But of course.
Here we go.
What else?
You look like someone who has money. You have money.
I do have some money, yes, but that's not what's really important here.
He brushes it off like it's not like it's not a thing at all.
He's not gonna give you money. What are you doing? Clearly you were just profiling. No, I mean, come on. You need the money. If it's not a thing, he can give you some.
Mm-hmm. Could I have some of that unimportant money then?
Oh no, I don't have it on me, officer. I was talking in more general terms.
No. He looks uncomfortable, his left hand squeezing his son's shoulder.
I'm just spending time with my kid here, showing him around the lesser-known parts of our hometown. It wouldn't be wise to carry huge amounts of cash on such expeditions.
Alright. Great, thank you for all the interesting information.
No, thanks to you for having me and little Mikhail here to pick your brain. A very interesting conversation indeed.
Pick your brain? If anything, this was rather one-sided. He did the talking. Whatever.
Cool. Shit, I was hoping there was going to be some thought that appeared when I get close to this, because this ladder seems very climbable and would have a great view to do that sniper shit. Oh no. Oh hi, what's that? Oh wow, I haven't been here? Oh. That's good to know. I guess that's Morello. We're gonna talk to them.